This news update is brought to you by...
So, I'm meeting Rico later. Gotta check in with the girls, but first, let me check my usage on the MyLime app. Now, what should I wear? Hashtag sexy. He's here.
Welcome to the Barbados City Afternoon Update. It's Tuesday, May 26th. So glad you can join us. I'm Frenella Wedderburn. The island's Chief Labour Officer is at this hour chairing round 2 of talks between the Barbados Workers Union and the country's lone power company in order to stave off a strike action. Today's meeting follows a similar one on Friday, which was also mediated by Chief Labour Officer Vincent Burnett. The BWU is upset about what it describes as the Barbados Light and Power's unilateral retrenchment of 73 workers. BWU head Tony Moore is leading the union's delegation on behalf of the workers, while Human Resource Manager Roger Baburam is heading BL&P's group. Today's meeting began just around 10 this morning. In other news, a man is in custody assisting police with Sunday's shooting incident, which occurred during the Christchurch Carnival. 2 men were injured just after 2 p.m. while the revelers were en route at the junction between Durance and Lodge Road. The names of the victims have not been disclosed, but Acting Assistant Superintendent David Welch says a 17-year-old boy was shot in his torso and a 27-year-old man sustained an injury to his right shin and were both taken to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital for medical attention. Meantime, a policeman finds himself on the wrong side of the law and will appear in the District A Magistrates Court today to answer to firearm charges. 26-year-old Undwyn Jean-baptiste of Westwood, Warrens, St. Michael, is charged with the illegal possession of a firearm and the unlawful possession of 9 rounds of ammunition. According to police spokesman David Welch, Jean-Baptiste was arrested after members of the drug squad executed a search warrant at his residence on Sunday. He has since been suspended from duty. A 32-year-old Jamaican national is expected to appear in court tomorrow on drug charges. Sabusa Andre Ferguson, a driver, is charged in connection with last month's seizure of 22 pounds of cannabis and 19.1 kilograms of cocaine in Roadview, St. Peter. Ferguson will answer to possession with intent to supply, and trafficking of cannabis and cocaine when he faces the Old Town Magistrates Court. Meantime, a 27-year-old Guyanese woman will face the District B Magistrates Court tomorrow on cocaine charges. Rhonda Williams was arrested yesterday after arriving at the Grantley Adams International Airport from Georgetown. Following a search of her luggage, custom officials found 1.7 kilograms of the drug in a false compartment. She is charged with possession with intent to supply, and trafficking and importation of cocaine. In other news, a newly sworn-in batch of over 100 constituency council members can now continue serving the community for 3 two-year terms, but must perform in order to get paid. Minister of Community Empowerment, Steve Blackett, told the new councillors that the ability to serve for more than 1 term with a maximum of 3 years is owed to a recent amendment of the law governing constituency councils. But he says they will only be paid for top-notch performance.
These amendments now allow a councillor having completed a full term, that is 2 years, to be considered to serve for a further 2 terms of 2 years each, bringing it to a total of 6 years altogether if he or she so desires. Therefore, an effective councillor who is committed to serving well needs to be not to be restricted to sitting on the council for only 2 terms maximum, as was the case previously. A councillor may now serve 3 terms of 2 years each consecutively. This amendment, therefore, demands and seeks to enforce the highest level of commitment and performance from each councillor, whilst making provision for the release of any of the councillors who fall short of the required standards. Counselors' attendance at meetings is also now linked to the receipt of the stipend that they receive. So if you don't attend, you are not paid.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Farley Hill, Crane Beach, fried chicken at Pug's Bar. All parts of Barbadian life that some might know, but others don't. So join me, Katrina Marshall, as I go about town and across country, peeking into tucked away districts and liming with the people who bring them to life. About town and across country, coming soon to Barbados Today, news you can trust.
On the regional scene in Trinidad and Tobago, the ruling Coalition People's Partnership Government of Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar and the opposition People's National Movement of Dr. Keith Rowley yesterday launched their unofficial campaigns for the upcoming general election. The poll is constitutionally due by September 17. Both parties staged rallies in the capital, with Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar indicating that her four-party coalition will retain power, while her main challenger, Dr. Rowley, signaled his intentions to invite electoral observers to monitor the poll.
I am today putting CARICOM on notice that they will receive correspondence from the leader of the opposition in Trinidad and Tobago asking for observers to observe the elections of Trinidad and Tobago.
It's a request normally made by the government, according to the EBC. But the opposition leader wants to extend the invitation to regional observers because he claims the EBC is at risk of government manipulation. The EBC isn't fazed, though, by the alarm bells Dr. Rowley is ringing. In an email response, this procedure of inviting observers is in keeping with international best practice, and the EBC welcomes such missions which have been invited to observe our elections. Asked if the EBC has had to fend off any attempts at political interference which would threaten the electoral process, the EBC stated categorically no.
And finally, the death toll from the heat wave sweeping across India nears 800. The worst hit area of the stifling heat is in the southeastern state of Andhra Pradesh, where authorities say more than 550 people have died in the last 4 to 5 days alone. Another 215 died in the neighboring state of Telangana.
Yes, we are hearing that the situation is being managed quite well, especially in the south, in the states of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, which are the worst affected. The hospitals are being able to cope. We're not hearing any reports of, not enough beds or not enough doctors on hand to treat these patients. Most people who are being admitted to a hospital are there because of dehydration or because of a sunstroke, but we are hearing that the situation is being managed. The disaster management officials in Andhra Pradesh, they are setting up some camps across the city where they're trying to provide water to people and also buttermilk, anything to help people cool down. But we are hearing that the situation is being managed quite well at the moment.
And on that note, we come to the end of our afternoon updates, but we'll be back again this evening. Until then, remember to log on to www.barbadostoday.bb, subscribe to our e-paper, our email updates, and like us on Facebook. You can also catch us on Izumi Media in bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. We're also on Channel 101 online TV and Mix 96.9 FM. There you can get all the latest news and sports. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Good afternoon.
This news update is brought to you by...
So, I'm meeting Rico later. Gotta check in with the girls, but first, let me check my usage on the MyLime app. Now, what should I wear? Hashtag sexy.